Former Trump aide turned Trump critic Anthony Scaramucci, he just became Anthony Scaramucci, as he's now having to walk back his comments about our president-elect. But here's what he said about Trump before. Watch.
Every day he gets out and says another lie. He knows through propaganda, the reinforcement of a lie, saying it over and over and over again. There's millions of people that believe him, even though they can see the thing clearly, they believe him. And that has worked throughout civilization. That worked in Nazi Germany. It worked in other places in the government. It's worked in Africa. It works in South America. And it's his playbook. And when you call him out on it, you end up on his enemies list. But he's not going to win. Okay, and I'm very, very clear about this. He is not going to win, because there's one thing about him that I do love. It's the self-destruction. Okay, and he imploded during COVID, and he's going to implode between now and November. Just watch how this thing unfolds.
Now, guys, this Anthony guy, he was Trump's communications director for 11 days. Then Trump dumped him quickly when he found out how bad he was. What we're seeing now, this is how incompetent people act after they get fired and exposed. But if you asked him, oh, he didn't say anything wrong. But here's Joe Kernan from CNBC confronting him on air. Watch.
You got pretty heated, Anthony, at times.
Look, Joe, how did I get heated? What did I say, Joe?
About Trump?
What did I say? I said, I repeated what he was saying, and I said, this is wrong.
Anthony,
come on, Joe.
you have had an utter disdain for Trump. You'll always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as you trash Trump. That's always going to happen. But aren't you the slightest bit embarrassed, or at least humbled, about how wrong you were about
Joe,
the feeling of most Americans, let me finish, and for enthusiastically supporting a candidate who a majority of people thought had no business being anywhere near the Oval Office? And you're a Republican, and you saw all the different policies that she was talking about are anathema to what you thought your whole life, and yet you went along with it. Do you ever eat any crow, or not even a little crow wing, really like a little capon? Or you just, I mean, Michael Avenatti could still be on TV trashing Trump. You'll always find a place on TV. If he wasn't in prison, he'd still be on CNN running for president with Brian Stelter. Just give me a little bit, Anthony, about how wrong you were.
Joe, first of all, I immediately put out a congratulatory tweet. They won, we lost. In the immortal words of Barry Diller when he lost the Paramount deal. Next, Joe, what would you like me to do? Do you want me to get on bended knee before you?
No, I thought you were going to start that it's going to...
That's not even what America is about, Joe. We have a violent disagreement about lots of things related to Trump's personality. You like Trump. I was up close to Trump. I got to see the ugliest of what he is. And by the way, Joe, it's not just me. There were 40 of us that worked for the president that warned people.
So I think he's been very good for your. I think he's been very good for your career, Anthony. I think he's been incredibly good. You're here, are you not? And you're going to be welcome anywhere you want to go. I think he's been very good for you, and you'll be able to live off this for another 4 years.
Joe, why don't you calm down? Why don't you calm down a second, Joe? We know each other a long time. Are you saying that you and I can't disagree on somebody's personality? Is that what you're saying? And you're saying what I'm saying in terms of identifying those features and traits of the personality. You don't see those too, but you're choosing to ignore them?
I guess 75 million people looked at everything you looked at and decided that there were other things that...
But there were 67 million people that didn't, Joe. That's what makes America, Joe. That's what makes America, Joe. But you're saying to me that stuff that I was saying wasn't factually true. If somebody's saying they're going to use the American military to go after their political adversaries, and I say, geez, that sounds very un-American to somebody like me.
Is that what he said, Vivek?
Oh, no.
Is that what he's going to do?
Of course he said it.
And like my uncle said, guys, a snake will shed its skin, but it's still a snake. Now, seriously, guys, Anthony was asking Kernan what he said. Well, let's take a look at what he actually posted on X, shall we? So here from October 14th, Trump is an un-American sore loser. Vote Harris. And another one from February 11th. There's a group of people here in our country that are supposed patriots and love and appreciate the American military, yet they love a con man more. The atrocious statements made by Trump today about Governor Haley's husband would have been met with clear rejection at the ballot boxes by patriots. Something to think about. How far we've moved away from the greatest generation where people are now voting for someone who calls their veterans suckers and losers. But really, guys, the one that really got my goat, it was this one from a few months back. Watch. Look at this here. Trump is a traitor. The stalling of the military gave a window of opportunity for Putin to take advantage. He saw weakness and a divided NATO because of Trump. We are not going back. And not surprisingly, Scaramucci, he's been pretty active on social media in support of Harris. Early on election day, he posted on X that if a political candidate wants to declare victory before the polls close, remember they are doing that to damage our country, not to serve it. But when you look back at his X post before that, he clearly said that Harris will win. Seriously, Anthony, hypocrite much? But this is the pattern that we often see here, guys. President-elect Trump spoke up after the on-air tangle between Kernan and Scaramucci. He said that Anthony Scaramucci was a major loser who was fired from the administration after only 11 days for his insane brother from another mother interview with Chris Cuomo, and then with CNN. Then Trump added, "Great job by Joe K." I mean, where was the lie, right? Kernan basically called Scaramucci a moocher who gets his time in the limelight just for being a Trump hater. As CNN host called out, Scaramucci will always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as he trashes Trump. That's always going to happen. Kernan also didn't fail to note that Trump has been very good to Scaramucci's career and that the Trump critic will be able to live off of this for at least another 4 years. But true enough, this guy is already criticizing our president-elect even before he's inaugurated. He, who is just one of many aides who supported Harris, said Trump's victory in the presidential race last week was a sad day for a lot of people. This was in an interview on CNN where he also said that he hopes Trump takes a pause and thinks about that the country needs to unite. There needs to be a healing process in the country. Now, honestly, guys, I think it was pretty clear. Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College. He's already united America in a way that Democrats could only wish for. And by the way, guys, Anthony calls himself a Republican, but no real Republican would vote for Kamala Harris and her very anti-Republican policies, right? You know what I mean? But drop me a quick yes in the comments down below. Hit the subscribe button if you guys agree with what we're saying here. And while you guys are at it, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel and tapping that notification bell. That way you guys won't miss out on the latest news that actually matters to you and our own personal take on things. Totally free, guys, and it'll definitely help us reach our goal of 700,000 subs before Trump's inauguration on January 20th. All right, so if you guys are all set, let's continue with this one. And so now that Trump has actually won the popular vote as well as the Electoral College, Scaramucci is now scared of Mucci, and he's trying to walk back his previous words on the president-elect. Just recently, he said that Trump critics, including himself, must take a hard look in the mirror before the next election. His message for Democrats: your message is not what the American people want and the majority of the American people. Wow. Then again, he was also been on the press circuit warning people of a supposed Trump-fueled stock market crash. He said that if Trump enacted 50% of what he's saying, you'll have a stock market crash, the likes you haven't seen since the 1920s. He also mentioned how Elon Musk agreed with a post on X that said Trump's plans to deport millions of immigrants who are in the country illegally and cut spending would cause a stock market meltdown, since that could spark a labor shortage that could make inflation reaccelerate. He said that Donald Trump's plan to deport 15 million people will crush the economy. It'll crush our tax revenues and flip upside down the job market. Or, you know, those jobs could actually go to Americans, and it's Americans that would actually prop up our economy. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think we would actually get a stock market crash after Donald Trump's new policies being implemented? Y'all let me know in the comments down below, guys. Also, if you want to take it a step further, join us over in our Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below. Get early access to content, commercial-free videos, and check out exclusive content that I just can't post here. But for all of Scaramucci's doom and gloom, top business leaders, investors, and philanthropists, they don't seem to have a problem congratulating Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election. There's Elon Musk, who was very quick to celebrate Trump's victory even before the election was even called in the president's favor. That's right, guys. The former Tesla and SpaceX CEO said that Trump had been given a crystal clear mandate for change, and he was not afraid to put his money where his mouth is, as the world's richest person donated at least $119 million to a super PAC supporting Trump. In fact, the billionaire tech mogul also launched a $1 million daily giveaway for signers of a conservative-leaning petition supporting the First and Second Amendments. Now, guys, that's life-changing money right there, guys. How would you feel to get an extra $1 million just for signing a petition, right? Let me know. And more importantly, what would you do with that $1 million? Would you give it away? Would you invest it? Would you pay off some bills, maybe pay off your house? Anyway, even Harris-supporting business leaders posted about a Trump victory before the election was officially called. So the former principal owner of the Dallas Mavericks and Shark Tank star Mark Cuban, he wrote on X that Trump won fair and square. Now, this is actually surprising to me because Mark Cuban usually doesn't even like Donald Trump. So for Mark Cuban to actually make this post about Trump in a positive light was actually kind of surprising. Anyway, Silicon Valley venture capitalist and donor David Sachs said that Nixon 68 was the greatest comeback until tonight. And the billionaire supported Donald Trump even before it was popular. As he said on X before the election, 4 years ago, Kamala Harris and the Democrats came into power promising a return to normalcy. What did they give us? Open borders, felons released from jail, runaway spending and inflation, partisan lawfare and censorship, a world on fire. They had their chance. Vote for change. Aaron Levy, CEO of cloud company Box, posted on X congratulating Trump before he officially clinched the White House. He said that what's great about America is that we're on a rocket ship right now and can keep accelerating with the right policies and execution. And Levy was a pretty outspoken Harris supporter throughout the campaign, even donating more than $145,000 to Kamala Harris's victory fund. Another Harris big money supporter and former presidential candidate himself, Andrew Yang, congratulated Trump on X, saying that defending democracy means accepting election results that don't go your way. Mark Anderson endorsed Donald Trump in July, and he also gave $2.5 million to the pro-Trump PAC Right for America. At midnight before the election was called, he even said that it's time to build, as a response to Elon Musk, who had posted, "America is a nation of builders. Soon you will be free to build." Fellow wealthy Trump supporter Bill Ackman said on X that the fact that Kamala Harris has not conceded such a devastating loss speaks volumes. But perhaps one of the most resounding of all of these different congratulatory messages actually came from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos said, "Big congratulations to our 45th and now 47th president on an extraordinary political comeback and decisive victory." Then he added, "No nation has bigger opportunities," wishing Donald Trump all success in leading and uniting the America we all love. His fellow tech giant Mark Zuckerberg posted his congratulations on Threads, saying, "Congratulations to President Trump on a decisive victory and that we have great opportunities ahead of us as a country." So he's looking forward to working with him and his administration. I still can't forget how he called Trump a badass this cycle after the former president survived an assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. But yeah, basically all the tech bros, Fortune 500 companies, S&P 500 companies, they're now scrambling to get Donald Trump's good graces. Many of Google Alphabet's employees seem to also have been partial to a Harris victory. Alphabet was the top employer among her July donors. But Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google and its parent company Alphabet, said, "Congratulations to Trump on his decisive victory, and that we are in a golden age of American innovation, and so they are committed to working with his administration to help bring forth the benefits to everyone." Plus, on an episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, Trump said Pichai called him after he posed for a photo op at McDonald's and repeated the claim at a rally at the end of October. Apple CEO Tim Cook said, "Congratulations to President Trump on his victory." He also said that they look forward to engaging with you and your administration to help make sure that the United States of America continues to lead with and be fueled by ingenuity, innovation, and creativity. Tim Cook didn't endorse a candidate this election, though Tim Cook has maintained close business ties with Trump. In 2019, Tim Cook and Donald Trump reached a deal in which Apple would receive some exemptions to tariffs, and then Tim Cook gifted him a $6,000 Mac Pro. Now put that together with the Tesla Elon Musk gave him recently, and man, Trump is all decked out tech-wise, right? So yeah, even with the naysayers like Anthony Scaramucci trying to tear down Trump, it's pretty clear that he has all these big money backers behind him and his administration. In fact, the stock market is already rallying like never before after this Trump victory, guys. Have you seen the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones S&P 500? It's crazy right now. But let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like both critics and Wall Street will fall in line with Donald Trump once he ascends to the presidency? Drop me a quick yes or no in the comments, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this one. More on this and the news that matters to you to you guys in our coming updates. I'm already hard at work on this next one as we speak, but while you guys are waiting on that, why not take some time, check out our other videos on the channel. I just uploaded an amazing video about how Kamala Harris's campaign turned over $1 billion in funds into a $20 million debt after all the celebrities got paid off in Hollywood. For real, guys, we definitely got the footage, so definitely check that video out after this one. But as always, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much for hitting the like button and subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. Well, guys, the great wealth transfer is in full effect. And, you know, whether it's Donald Trump that ends up winning the election or if it's Kamala Harris, oh God, we're in a world of a pickle, as my grandfather would say. Our freedoms are being stolen, guys. Credit card companies are out to get us. And if you don't understand the game, well, you end up getting played by the game. Now, if you're anything like me, guys, you know, you were probably out of shape, maybe in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and just feeling like the system is just completely taking advantage of you. I remember for a long time, I could rarely ever get any time to spend with my wife. And it's kind of funny because where I used to work with a lot of married men. And a lot of those married men would always complain about their spouses as if they really just didn't even like their spouses, which is sounding like a pretty horrible situation. But that was the case for many of them. They didn't like who they were married to. But I was different. Anyway, through trial and error and through a lot of pain, I figured out how to gain freedom and also lose a lot of weight and actually get in shape. And guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, that was a game changer. To no longer be living paycheck to paycheck, figuring out how to get the credit cards to pay me, the power of a strong credit score. I pay thousands of dollars less per year for the same house as my neighbor just because my credit is better than his is. And this is not to brag. I mean, but this is the truth. The banks are literally taking advantage of the poor. It's like the people who can least afford it, they're charging the poor what is like unofficially called a poor tax or a tax on the poor. I mean, I'm now at a point where, you know, like, number one, I don't pay for credit cards. In fact, credit card companies pay me to use their cards. And I figured out how to build a lifestyle that is just ultimately very, very healthy. I lost a tremendous amount of weight and I put on a lot of muscle. But when I was struggling, I wish I knew people who knew these things. So anyway, I decided to create a community of like-minded people who are also interested, just like me, in living better. So if you guys want to join my community, it's called the Liberty Pursuit Network. It is brand new. Come on over. I'd love to have you guys and join like-minded people. Be positively motivated by others who are also on the same pursuit. So I'm going to leave a link for you guys so you can join me over on the Life Pursuit Network in the description down below this video. So check it out, guys, and let's not be a victim of this great wealth transfer that is taking place right now.